Welcome to the Busy Webinar for 10 things every website should have. Brought to you by Dave Meyer, president of BizzyWeb. That's me. Would love to have you here with us, and thank you very much for joining us. I know we have a big crowd that wanted to join today and learn about what every website needs, and thank you all for joining. I'm going to give us all a few moments to get online and to get a chance to ask questions and to get where we need to go. So in that vein, I'm going to go through our agenda very quickly. First, we're going to talk a little bit about BizzyWeb and cover a couple of admin details. And then we're going to get into 10 things every website should have. There's a lot of things that almost every website needs to be as effective as possible. And I want to run those through with you, and we're going to give you some examples along the way. I'm going to be switching back and forth in format between a PowerPoint presentation and between a live Google Chrome page. And so we'll be doing some switching back and forth. And as I do, we're actually going to offer up the ability for you to ask us some questions. So if you have questions about anything that you're hearing today, the steps to get to that are to either go to google.com/plusbusyweb as you see on your screen, or from the homepage of BizzyWeb, you probably got to us by clicking on the events calendar or by following the link, and that brought you to today's page. So from today's page here, you can actually see that there's an embedded video. That's probably where you're watching this from right now. But under number 1, it says view it on our Google Plus page stream. If you click on this, it's going to open up a new page, and you'll be able to see from that page that you've got a Q&A and a live button. And as long as you're logged in and you're on Google Plus, you'll be able to ask questions. So simply click play inside of this window. I'm just going to mute this quickly as we get it so you don't hear me twice. And there we go. And then you can ask a question over on the right side by clicking the green button that says ask a new question, and I'll just type ask a question here. So if you'll do that, I'll be checking this tab frequently throughout our event today. So this is all about you. Would love to have you ask any questions that you have about the top 10 things that your website needs to have. So please do feel free to reach out and engage us on this page. All right, let's get back to our event. Of course, you know that BizzyWeb is an online marketing agency focusing and specializing on 2 things: WordPress-powered web design, which we build to integrate with social media and search engine optimization, and then the email marketing and other marketing that you need to do in order to grow your business. At BizzyWeb, our tagline is generate buzz without getting stung, and we help our clients in all facets of marketing to get there as quickly and efficiently as possible, including and especially when you publish to a BizzyWeb-powered website. That act of publishing can be configured to automatically post to your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, and more, all with that one click. Without further ado, let's get right into 10 things every website should have. There's a whole bundle of things that every website probably needs, and there's some things that I'm not even going to cover today. If you disagree or if you'd like to ask additional questions about any of these, again, be sure to log those through the Google Q&A tool. You can also send us a note. If you go to the link at the bottom of the page here, it says join us online at BizzyWeb.com/BB. That'll get you into a page. You can go to the Contact Us page for that and ask questions if you're not able to get into the Google Hangout Q&A. But this is what we think. And I'll start off with grand number 1, mobile responsive design. If your website doesn't look good on a mobile device, if you need to pinch and zoom in order to see things on your website from your iPhone or your Android or your Windows device, you are not being shown on Google search results when people are searching on those mobile devices. Now that's a bad thing because as many as 80% of folks report mostly doing their searching on mobile devices. So our clients that have needed updates on their mobile responsive design have reported a rather dramatic decrease in traffic to their websites until we were able to get them right back up and fixed in their mobile responsivity, in their mobile friendliness, as Google calls it. And as soon as we brought that back up, the traffic snapped right back. Basically, what you want to make sure that you do is go to the link on your page, and you could also just Google mobile friendly, and you'll get a link to this page, and it looks like what you see here, and it tells you what you need to do if you don't have a mobile-friendly page. But as much as you can, make sure that you take those steps, and whether it's updating your theme design, hiring someone like BizzyWeb to make sure that you've got the mobile responsive elements on your site that you need, or how everything's working, just make sure that you're taking those steps. I'm going to switch over again to our screen here and bring you over to, and for example, the BizzyWeb homepage to show you what mobile responsive means. If you're on your page right now, your website, you can simply use this trick to see if your website is mobile responsive. If you click on it and squeeze that page, and if you see the page reconfiguring on the fly, that's a good indicator that your website is in fact mobile responsive. So from here, you'll note that when I scroll up, what was all the way across the page is now 3 handy stacked columns. And as I make this larger again, you can see what it does as I build it. So that's a mobile responsive design versus a non-mobile friendly design. There's one other thing that I wanted to talk about on the mobile responsive design front. A lot of folks think that their website is mobile responsive because your website shows a different version that's built for mobile when you visit it. As far as Google's concerned, that's not as good as having a truly mobile responsive site. If you have a different website that displays and you have to click on the mobile version or the web version in order to see the normal version of your website, that's what's called mobile adaptive. And mobile adaptive sites don't get any of the SEO credit that mobile responsive sites do. So make sure that your website is all built to be handled from one spot, and that that website looks good on any device that it's browsed on in order to get the best reaction and in order to get the best search engine results, in order to rank as highly as possible when people are thinking about you, your business, or your services, because there's a good chance that they've got that computer in their pocket, and as soon as they think of you, they're going to whip out their phones, they're going to call you up, they're going to Google you, and then you need to make sure that it's as easy as possible to take that next step. I have an entire BizzyWebinar on mobile responsivity from a couple months ago. Go to BizzyWeb.com/events for this and any of these topics to find out more. Number 2, calls to action. You need to tell people on your website what you're expecting them to do. And especially you need to do that when people are searching. So every page of your website should have a relevant call to action within the immediate line of sight, what they call above the fold on the website, for both mobile and desktop versions. Tell people what you expect them to do and why they should take that step. If you don't make it very, very clear as to what you're asking people to do, if they have to browse around or guess as to what that next step should be, or if you don't give them any next step at all and instead you just kind of expect them to blindly wander around your maze looking for cheese, that's not going to be nearly as effective in reaching out to exactly the right people and getting them to take that next step as it would be if you were just blatantly obvious and told them, click here, follow us for more, subscribe to our newsletter, buy today. In this example, this is a BizzyWeb client example. Contact us today with a big clickable button that actually opens up the browser's phone application on their mobile devices, or there's a button right there for 24-hour emergency service. I'll show you that website in a little bit. I love the Practical Systems website, and so we'll talk about that a little more. The key is focus on what your visitors are looking for, not necessarily what you are or what you need. Yes, you need new clients, you need more people to do things, but focus on the call to action from the purchaser or from your visitor's perspective. What are they most interested in? If you're going to offer a link to subscribe to your newsletter, make sure you tell people what they can expect from that newsletter and why they should care. If you offer members-only content or easy access to the best new information in your industry, that's what you want to focus on, and that's what you want to tell them as the why that they can get out of that call to action. A lot of folks will tell you that you should have a call to action at least 3 spots on every single page, on the top, somewhere in the middle, and then down in the bottom. And a lot of times the call to action can be in the header or footer. and then the call to action on the actual content can be right in the middle. Make sure that you're just making it as easy as possible and that you're tracking this, especially if you're doing mobile advertising or any sort of social campaigns. Go to what are called landing pages that are designed for the actual intent of what people are reaching that page from. So if you have a Google ad that you're trying to get people to sign up for a seminar for, don't send that Google ad to the homepage of your website in the hopes that they'll figure out to click on the events link on your website. Instead, link to that event and give them the register button very prominent in that first screen within the first 2 seconds of them seeing that website or that page, so that they can take the next step as necessary. I'm going to switch over, just check, make sure that we don't have any questions, and it looks like we are good. So if you do have questions, again, as a reminder, you can simply go into this page, into the Google Plus page, and then click the green Ask a New Question button. But we'll keep trundling on here so that we can move forward and get done with this content for you, get you in and out in a reasonable amount of time. The third thing that everyone needs on their website, for their website in this case, is great hosting. If your website is slow, and if things aren't loading correctly, or if they see timeout errors, or if your website goes down, that's a huge indicator that your website isn't trustworthy, that your company doesn't have it all together, that something might be going wrong with your website that might decrease the amount of trust that people have in your content. Or certainly if your website is super slow and they don't see any content on your website because the browser that they're using happens to be on a 3G network, maybe with spotty coverage, and it takes them forever to load that content, they're going to get antsy and they're just going to jump away without ever seeing any of your content or taking advantage of any of your calls to action at all. Make sure that you make your website fast. Your website security is also an incredibly serious need. In today's day and age, after the Target hacks, the Home Depot compromisement, I don't think that's even a word, but the Wall Street Journal and the fact that that was hacked recently, there's so many things that you need to take account of. So many people out there just aren't paying attention to their security, especially with WordPress-powered websites. There's more than 40 million WordPress websites out there, so it's become an easy target for an ill-configured WordPress installation to be taken over by hackers. What I mean by ill-configured is websites that still have admin as the login on their website. That's the first thing that nefarious folks do when they're trying to gain access to a website, is they go to the WP admin page and look for the admin account and try to log in. And then they'll probably also try to type password, because that's still the most common password on your accounts or on internet accounts. WordPress is very good at this. They actually have security indicators as you're typing in your WordPress password, but make sure that you have a unique ID for your logins. BizzyWeb makes a unique login and a unique password for every one of our clients' websites, so that we don't need to worry about if a computer is hacked and someone gains access to one password, to have that one password be used across all other devices. Website security is the real deal. The other thing that you need to think about is you need to make sure that your content, your plugins are regularly updated, and that everything that you do is designed towards keeping everything as up to speed as possible. So BizzyWeb automatically updates all of our clients' content, all of our clients' plugins and WordPress software. We do that on a quarterly basis for most plugins, unless there's a security issue. If there's a security issue, we update that plugin immediately, as quickly as we possibly can. We've had problems with clients in the past that have had either poor software, haven't updated their stuff prior to moving over to us. They've been hacked, their website has been deleted, they can't get back into it. All of that was easily avoidable by simply clicking the update button. And I have a webinar from about the past 3 months, I believe, on how to update and maintain your site security. In general, though, make sure that you back up your website regularly, and that you use those backups if you need them, because you would hate to have a problem where something gets injected into your code via a virus on your computer or some other means, and then have an issue where your website suffers some problems. Down websites can cost people hundreds of thousands of dollars if that's what you use to generate all of your business and leads. And what would it cost if your site went down? What would it cost you in reputation? What would it cost you in lost business? Make sure that you're just spending the money and investing on great web hosting. Busy hosting is very inexpensive, and we have a dedicated team to help you if you need anything. Every hosting account gets at least 3 hours of service and support each year, where you can just call us up and have you fix things. And that's outside of the software support, where we automatically update plugins and WordPress software. So we have 3 hours that's available to you. If you need a serious partner to keep everything going that you know, and that you know where we live, you can actually get a hold of us, and we'd love to talk to you about that today. Next thing you need on your website, a blog. If you don't have a weblog or regularly updated content on your website, you're missing out on a lot of traffic and on a lot of search engine optimization opportunities. The more your website is frequently updated and consistently updated, and the more the posts that you publish on your website are laden with keywords, key phrases, and links to and from other content, the better you're going to rank online on Google. It's a great way to engage and inform your prospects and your clients, because you are an expert in what you do in your business, and your clients, your visitors, are looking for that information, even if they don't know that they are. If you give someone the opportunity to connect with you, to reach out, to follow you in your blog, to get an email every time your blog comes out, you're going to see a dramatic increase in the quality of contributions to your website, the traffic to your website, as well as the business that comes in as a result of your website's blogging efforts. You don't need to do it yourself. You can actually hire a professional to do that if you're not the type of person that would be a great writer or that's inclined to doing something. But the key thing is to make sure that your website is updated at least once a week. And ideally that content that you update is cross-posted across your social networks and included in your email marketing efforts for maximum response. Which leads us to number 5, subscribe to an email list. You need to let people subscribe to keep up with you, your content, your products and services, and of course your website, in order to get the maximum results for your business. Email is the #1 way that people stay in front of people that they already know. It's also the easiest way to generate new leads or new business, because if someone already knows you, keeping in touch with them is much easier to get them to take that next step into purchase again than if you're going from a completely cold lead, someone that's never heard of you before. Autoresponder campaigns can actually do your marketing for you. And so if someone subscribes to your email newsletter on your website, you can set it up to have that, or to have your email system automatically send them 2, 3, 4 or more web emails designed to get them engaged, give them a couple of tips, give them a next step, encourage them, give them a free download, and then just ask for the business and see if that can't help supercharge your lead process and make sure that your funnel is a little bit slipperier, and then people keep falling into the funnel instead of bouncing back out. The key with your email marketing is that you're helpful, informative, and engaging. You don't want to just offer specials and deals. You don't want to just offer one type of thing. If you have content that's not interesting to your clients, to your visitors, to the people that are subscribing to you in your website, you're going to lose them. They're going to unsubscribe. And if you overhit them with too many messages, they might unsubscribe, or worst case, mark you as spam, in which case you get a whole bunch of other things kind of indebted to you. The one nice thing about especially Constant Contact, which is the tool that BizzyWeb uses, is that it's so much more than just an email marketing tool. In addition to email marketing and those auto response campaigns, you can also do surveys to your clients to help find out what they're thinking and what they're doing, what they'd be interested in doing more of. You can monitor and maintain events. That's how you found out about this event and you interacted with Constant Contact today in subscribing to this newsletter or to this event, to this BizzyWebinar. Social media marketing to do things like campaigns and coupons via your Facebook page and more. and then of course the email newsletters. So if you don't have email as part of your online marketing, and if you don't include a form, a capture form right from your website, I would encourage you very highly to take that next step and do that today. All right, just checking back to make sure that we don't have any questions. Looks like we are good, and we have a whole bundle of viewers today. So again, thank you all. Don't be shy and go ahead and give us that, send us in that question. Again, if you don't have, or if you're not logged into the Q&A tool, all you need to do is go to item number 1 on the BizzyWeb event page, and then from that page, you can click on the link and it'll take you into this page. All you need to have is your Gmail account. So let's keep going into number 6, which is a contact us page. Here's the thing about contact us. Everybody seems to have one, but not a whole lot of people do it well. If you are a brick and mortar store and you expect people to come to your business on a regular basis, if you don't include a map on your site or a link to a map, you're missing out on the opportunity to have people come and visit you. The key thing is, if you're going to have a contact us page on your website, make it as easy as possible for people to contact you. It seems obvious, but it's not for a lot of companies. They'll just include an email form or an email address, might not even include a phone number. Again, people are all about immediacy, and they're all about what's most convenient to them. If you give them too many hoops to jump through, or if you ask them to fill out something that's lengthy or that doesn't apply to them, they're just going to skip it and go on to your competitor. So make sure that you include the easiest possible web contact form. Make sure that you include an easy link to open up the phone application so that people can just tap on that link and have their phone call you. Make sure that you give them an email address if possible, but share departments and guide visitors to the right contact right away so that they can just see who they're trying to reach and reach right out to that person or that part of your organization. The quicker, the easier, the better. So inside of a contact us page, you need to have a customer focus. So with your customers, you need to focus on what you can do for them again, and really think about their personas. I covered marketing personas last month, and really what it boils down to is you need to know exactly who your customers are, and think about and take your very favorite customers, the ones that if you could get 5 more of those customers, it would make an entire world of difference for you and your business, and kind of generalize that group of people into one super customer. Identify what their clients are, what they're interested in, what their demographics are, how old are they male or female, what are their hobbies, what are their interests, and most importantly, what are they interested in from you, and write your content from that perspective. Here's a little hint. Nobody cares if you've been in business for 20 years, or if you're left-handed, or if you're a really nice person. What they care about is, can you fix what they need you to do? Can you get their hurt supplied? Can you fix it? And so if you can't do that, or if you tell them too much that's not generally related to what they're looking for from you, you're going to miss out on that customer and you're not going to get anything done. So make sure that you write from their perspective. You know, I use this adage all the time. If I am trying to sell drill bits, the thing that I'm selling isn't drill bits, it's holes. So figuring out what hole you fill for your customer, writing for that and answering that question, that need for them inside of their website or inside of your website is an urgent thing that every page of your website should do. Nobody cares, again, if you're the preeminent supplier of X, Y, and Z, or if that you're a supplied partner or a preferred partner of a specific group. What they care about is, can you do what I need you to do for me and my business? Portfolios inside of your page should illustrate your knowledge, your experience, and your range, but again, from your customer's perspective. Make sure that you're looking at that and sharing the types of answers, the types of solutions that you've provided to your customers, and convey that story and show the process that you came to and the outcomes that you're able to connect with. So make sure that you can do all of those things. Once you do that inside of your customer focus, The next thing that you need to make sure that you can do is get found by the people that you're looking for, that are looking for you. SEO, or the art of search engine optimization, is the way that you will get found on Google and other search engines most effectively. It's optimizing your website to get found on Google. The key thing is that you need to structure your site to be found on Google by providing what's called metadata, and any good WordPress website will easily and simply provide that metadata to Google. But all you need to think about is making sure that everything's semantically correct. Your meta descriptions need to be 150 characters or less, and that's the description that shows underneath the headline on Google. The headline itself on Google is called the meta title, and that can be different than your website title. So for example, if your website page name is about, you can have your meta title, or the one that Google displays, about BizzyWeb, web design and online marketing for small businesses. Make sure that you include keywords in your URL and keep your goals in mind on what you're trying to accomplish. If you are looking for a specific keyword inside of your website when people are searching, what are the things that they would most likely to type into Google in order to find you? Those are your keywords, and you need to include those on as many pages as make sense, and only as many pages or keywords per page as semantically correct. So no more than 5.5% of the content of any given page should be directly related to that keyword or include that keyword. Any more than that, and it's called keyword stuffing. An example of keyword stuffing would be to have a BizzyWeb page say that we are a web design company in Minneapolis, Minnesota, focusing on web design in 7 different places. We do web design in the web design area, web design in the other areas, web design, web design, web design. Used to be that Google could be suckered into showing you content if you did that, but Google is much, much smarter than that now. They'll actively downgrade your ranking, your score, if you stuff too many keywords in. Leverage the Google keyword planning tool. I'm not even going to link to it here because it's so much easier just to Google it. But what the Google keyword planning tool will let you do is just type in your URL on the planning tool, the website address of your company. Enter in a keyword or two that you think you want to be found for, and the category of your business, whether you're a bank, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, or whether you're in industrial finance. And then Google will tell you other recommended keywords that you might want to consider from the vein of Google advertising, but it also gives you a great barometer on what you should be including on your website in regular content on your website, or earned content. So that's SEO. I'm going to switch back right now before we get back. Okay, we've got a bundle of people on and no questions yet, which is completely fine. That just means that I'm being very thorough, but would love to hear all of your questions about any of these things. And again, I'm going to go back through them at the end in case you missed something. All right, so SEO is number 8. What's number 9? Social media integration. If you aren't integrating your website so that whenever you update your website is updating your online marketing, you're missing out on one of the easiest, and in my opinion, one of the most powerful ways to help you get better results across the board. When you update to your website, you can set up your website so that it automatically publishes to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, and more. The key thing on that is you have to set it up so that the content continues to be relevant, and you can set this up so that specific categories of posts go out to different networks, and certainly so that all content, whether it's sending out to Facebook or to Google+ or to Twitter, is all formatted for that network. So for example, a format of a Twitter post would be much shorter and is usually probably just the title of the post. Facebook would have the key image or the featured image of the post, the first synopsis or excerpt of the content, and a link to that page. The best thing about social media integration as we build it is it all includes straight links to your content that helps you with search engine results because it's links to your content. If you use a tool like Hootsuite, that's fine, and it's certainly better than nothing, But every time you link to your content via Hootsuite, it's sending a link to ow.ly/some random code. And that Owly link doesn't help you for search engine optimization. It helps Hootsuite. So link to your website wherever possible across all networks. Facebook is where you want to post general posts and deals, the general information. If you're a B2C organization, that's a great place to focus first. LinkedIn is B2B and thought leadership. Again, if you're reaching out to other businesses, LinkedIn is probably your most important part. Again, you can also focus, if you're a B2C company, on LinkedIn for those business referral partners, the people that are likely to refer business to you. And so that's a great content driver. Google Plus is perfect for search engine optimization content. Any content that you publish on a Google Plus page for your business and link back to your website for is what Google calls a spark. And that spark is a great quality indicator as far as Google's concerned. And of course, it's Google's baby, and they love it when you take care of their baby. Twitter, best for short updates and headlines, tips, information, offers. The key thing, make sure that you're using this across the board to reach out and just cast a broad net. Use the time that you save by casting that broad net in order to dig in a little bit deeper and integrate with or interact with each social network and your customers and visitors on those networks in a deeper, more meaningful way. Kicking back here, no questions. Let me show you what I mean on inside of this. So from BizzyWeb's homepage, we link to a bunch of places. From the BizzyWeb blog, we talked about Jericho construction, and we had an article on BizzyWebinar, 10 things every website should have. Inside of this page from our blog, we talked about 12 changes that will impact your SEO strategy, of course, new BizzyWebinar on this content. So all of this is getting broadcast out automatically inside of the social networks. And same thing for LinkedIn, 12 changes that'll impact your social strategy. That came right from the website. From Google Plus, today's event, 10 things every website should have. Content here, 12 changes that will impact your social strategy. Again, it grabbed the image, it grabbed the title, and it grabbed a description. And you can see each of these is being published in a slightly different way. So 12 changes that will impact your SEO strategy. And again, key, BizzyWeb.com/news/12 changes. That's a link to my website, not to Owly, not to anywhere else. So it's a great way to reach out and connect. As long as I'm in here as well, I also wanted to show you the Practical Systems website. This is a great example of a contact us form and a mobile responsive design that's designed for mobile. When I squish this down, all I see is contact us today, 24-hour service and help I need. And if I'm inside of that help I need, I click what I need, service repair, maintenance and tune-up, an equipment estimate or a quote. And then it's just the facts, gets people right to what they need. And then the people at this company at Practical Systems get right back to you with some helpful information, and that's how they drive their leads quickly and easily. Final thing inside of your website and what you need to have and do, regular care and maintenance. We talked a little bit about this with web hosting because BizzyWeb does all of this automatically for our clients, but you need to update your content regularly, of course, but you also need to keep your software up to date. If you see, WordPress 4.2.2 is available, please update now. If you're not a BizzyWeb client, do this as soon as possible because there's some security concerns inside of there. And if you haven't updated your website for a little while, there's known hacks that a lot of hackers can get into if you don't update your content regularly or your plugins and software. BizzyWeb takes care of all of this automatically. So if you see any of these notices on your website and you're hosted by us, you don't need to worry about those, and we've already vetted for any problems, potentials, and we handle all of our content updates quarterly at least, and for any security issues, we do those immediately. Your password security is very important. Take a brief tour of your passwords and make sure that you keep all of them up to date, and ideally that you have all of them be unique to each website. If you're using admin as the login for your WordPress website, which is the default, or if any of the accounts on your website have an admin login, you need to get rid of that login as quickly as possible because that's one of the first things that hackers try to get into is by just going to WP admin and logging in as admin. So change that, remove it. You can just downgrade that person or change that person's name to something else. And then also make sure that you clean out spam comments on your website, because it slows down your site, it blocks things up. I've run into people when we've taken over their websites that have had over 300,000 comments on their website from spam sites. That does a lot of bad things to your site. First, it slows it down and it chokes up your website's database with 300,000 things that don't need to be there. But also, some of those links could have bad code on them that could actually infect your website from the inside out. If you don't have a specific reason to collect comments on your website or on your posts, my official recommendation now, after many years in the business, is just to turn off comments, or at least use Akismet if you are going to use comments, so that you're blocking out most of those comments that are coming from known spam places or that have overly spammy content. Another key thing, and the final thing that you need to do, is back up your website often. The tool that BizzyWeb uses as part of our hosting packages is called Backup Buddy. If you want Backup Buddy for your website, it's very inexpensive and easy to use. Make sure that you set up at least a weekly backup, depending on how often you update your website. You might want it to be daily, but keep that copy and make sure that you're able to use that if you need to, and that you understand how to use it. If you run into problems with your website, we'd love to help. Our contact number is down at the bottom. We'd love to host you. Our hosting packages start at $25 a month and include not only everything that I talked about today as far as care and maintenance, but also 3 hours of service and support from real people if you're having problems with the plugin, if you need additional functionality, if you need us to help you configure a widget or a tool on your website. We can do that, all included for free as part of our hosting packages. I'm going to give you one last chance for those questions, see if we've got anything in here. And I don't believe I have any right now, so I think I'm going to run right into wrap up and give you those next steps. So in summary, remember that if you need someone to help you with these top tips for web design, this is just part of what we do when we build our clients' websites. This is no surprise to any of our clients, because they've been walked through all of this content on a regular basis. And certainly as part of our design process, we make sure that your website is designed to get you more leads and to help you work smarter, not harder. We also do online marketing. So if you need help with social media engagement, Google AdWords, content writing, and certainly email marketing, we would love to help you out with that, because we have dedicated professionals standing by to help you today. And make sure that you keep up with our events by logging into BizzyWeb.com/events, by registering for our newsletter so that you can keep up to date. We send out one thing a week, and then we also send out a newsletter with all of the big details and all of the biggest web design related and online marketing related news once a month. So keep up with that. And then we post all of our content to YouTube, so you can go through that channel and ask questions in tech support. What we've got coming up next week is how to grow your business with email and social media. And then on the 24th, we have a very special event. We're actually going to be covering online bullying. So if you have children and you want to keep them protected from bullying online, this is just an entirely new thing that baby boomers, Gen Xers, Gen Yers never really had to deal with. But now the online world is just a very real thing. And we all know that kids can get nasty sometimes. It's so much easier to have that snowball. And so we have a BCA officer at the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension who's going to be talking to us about how to handle these issues and how to make sure that your child is not getting bullied online. So tune in for that one on the 24th. We also have some in-person seminars coming up. We're going to be up in Duluth next Tuesday. And then Twin West Chamber of Commerce, we're going to talk about landing more sales on Tuesday the 23rd. And then we have some SCORE presentations in St. Paul. We're going to have one in Minneapolis and a webinar in Minneapolis, as well as a New Business Minnesota event in Bloomington, all on the 25th. If you'd like to know more information about how you can use any of these top 10 tips or get to the next stage in your business, just go to BizzyWeb.com/buzz. You'll have a free tool right there that you can use to enter in your website, the keyword that you want to be featured for or found for, and your competition. And then you're going to get a 17-page report back immediately for free from BizzyWeb. If you'd like us to help you out with a more in-depth and a marketing plan, we can certainly do that. And there's information on that page on how to get that done. It's a for-pay service on that one. But the BizzyWeb.com/buzz, the Buzz Report, is free to you. And I would encourage you to please check that out. It's an amazing tool that you can use as a guidepost for increasing your search engine optimization and just improving your marketing in general. Again, I am Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Thank you all so much for attending. We had a bundle of people here today, so thank you very much for that. If you do have any additional questions, go ahead and get a hold of us. You can send a note to me at dave@bizzyweb.com, or you can send a note in to sales or support if you have questions about specific things, both of those at bizzyweb.com. Again, I'm Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Thank you all very much for joining us. Have a fantastic week. And remember, at BizzyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung.